Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon and was posted on a bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. Everyone, please rise, salute the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 1, draft of the 5G ordinance for review.
All right, this is a culmination of many months of working together to get this ordinance done. There's a sample in there from the consultant, there's a sample in there from Lavalette, and then there's a proposed ordinance that was Mr. Reed has drafted that would kind of best fit possibly our code and our zoning. I'm just asking you to review it if you have any comments, and then of course the final touch will be from Mr. Connors for him to put it, into format to be introduced. I do want to get ahead of this because if we have an application made to us before an ordinance, there's no turning back at that point, and there is some revenue that the town could get off of these 5G components on our right-of-ways that I don't want to miss out on the opportunity of receiving from these carriers. So I don't know if anybody had any chance to review this and look it over. I know it's a lot of paper. I think it's 50-some pages, or what was it, or something like that?
57.
Yeah, I didn't count them all.
I skimmed it. It looks like it's a pretty good start. But this is now with the pandemic and everyone basically using technology and stuff like that. This is now 5G is now being pushed even faster to the forefront to make this happen. So it's 57 pages. It's a lot of technical stuff. We need to get on this right away. Even if it's not 100% accurate or correct for Lacey, at least we can then amend it, but we've got something in place to prevent, so we can protect the Lacey residents, because these things are pretty ugly.
So I appreciate the inclusion of the Lavalette ordinance. I would be curious, does any large municipalities like Tom's River or Bricktown or anyone else have a 5G ordinance in
Not to be
place?
defined, no.
Just Lavalette.
Yeah, Lavalette was one of the first ones that did it, and some of those other island communities there mirror image theirs. So I didn't provide you with all of them, but I can't find any other ones. North Jersey has a lot, but their zoning is so different than ours, so it doesn't make any sense.
In case in point, we can't compare Lacey to a lot of these other municipalities.
Right.
And the only other thing I have, you've probably all been copied on a lot of the letters of residents against the 5G ordinance.
Yeah, I shared all that with you because
Right.
that seemed to be odd that we were getting that.
And I tell you, I probably didn't scrutinize them as closely as I should, but I do have them, and I'll redo them. I'd like you to look at those too and garner an opinion if any of those really, have any validity to it, or is just the same old people who are, against any progress.
Yeah, and just keep in mind that the federal government says they have the right to come in with this 5G.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't keep them out. You just got to protect the residents of Lacey from and our businesses from this stuff. So
Right.
Okay, so everybody's got homework. Anything else?
Okay.
Just remember that the longer we take to review this, while we can introduce it, it goes to the planning board, and then they have to review it and send us a recommendation before I can do second reading. So there is a delay process with the zoning ordinance here.
So basically, is there a possibility that we can get everything done so the planning board can review it at the next meeting, or do we push for the July meeting?
I think we're gonna have to push for the July meeting for the planning board. There's no way we're doing it for the June meeting.
So then, so we've got time, but not time.
yeah,
Right.
it's
So if you have any comments, send them to me in writing so that I can share them with Mr. Connors.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
And I'll
doing
be
that.
sure that if I don't have it in Word, I'll get it in Word from Mr. Reed so I can share it with Mr. Connors so he doesn't have to retype the whole thing.
How many, we might have talked about this already, but how many poles are they talking about?
Hundreds.
1,200. 1,200.
Have you seen a sample of what it looks like?
They did an estimate. 1,200 of 5G, which are about the size of a pizza box. The other problem we have is they can hang them on the telephone poles, but in my neighborhood, all our utilities
Are underground.
So they got to put them on the street lights, but they got to be 50 feet in the air. And the street lights are what? How big are the street lights? 20 feet.
20
feet. So then you got to stick something up another 30 feet and put this stupid thing on top of it. And it's going to look terrible.
I'm concerned for the
So there are
aesthetics.
ways with the 5G that they can actually put them on the ground. So like at the end of my property, I have the utility box, that green box. Maybe you can slap it on there. I don't know. I don't know, but I think we have to protect those parts of town that the utilities are underground.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to bring that up. There are underground utilities in several towns here.
Yeah.
One of these, I mean, there's a lot. We're not going to take a deep dive into it. I'll send an email to Veronica. Veronica can send it to council. It says can be mounted on private property in a privately owned pole or structure. Does that mean my flagpole, or, I mean,
If
what are
you
you
make an
talking
agreement
about?
with them, it could, but I don't think your flagpole would be strong enough for it.
Right. If your how high is your flag?
But you have to remember, you have a lot of private communities such as Toll Brothers and stuff like that. So that's probably one of the components of
Right.
why they put that in there.
That just jumped out when it started talking about private property, privately owned pole or
And
structure.
privately owned poles in shopping centers.
These things have to be like 1,000 feet apart or something. So think about that.
Yeah.
But we don't want to miss out, and I'm going to call it the
Right.
energy tax receipt money that we could receive for them.
I think,
We don't want to change the aesthetic of the town either.
No,
Places
I
with
don't, but I
underground
want to make sure
utilities.
if we're going to get stuck doing this, we also get that revenue that.
Oh, I
we have.
agree.
If we're going to be stuck with that, yeah, no.
we're probably on the agenda for June. Like, it's a month away if we get our comments back. 2 weeks and comments.
Well, you know what then, let's see if we can get a timeline, maybe, either Mr. Reed or someone can put a timeline together of what maybe you can, what we have to do. We have to introduce it.
Well, I don't even have to introduce it yet. I mean, I can present a draft ordinance to the planning board and they can send me their approval and then I can do first and second reading. As long as the planning board gets to review and I don't change it, yeah, I mean, if we can get something together, I can send it to the planning board before we even introduce it.
Let's work on doing it. So once the planning board approves it, we can't amend it in any way, or does it have to?
Yeah, it has to go back to the planning board.
Got to go back to the plan. They have 29 days, but they don't have to take the 29.
Oh, okay.
Usually I
Well, I'm
get it.
saying, we can do our comments in 2 weeks,
Right.
change the ordinance, give it to the planning board, and they can do whatever they want. That should be doable.
But if it's coming from an authority higher than us, it won't stand up.
Yeah, yes, it will.
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will?
They have the right to come in, but they also have to abide by our rules and regulations.
Yeah, you can't deny them.
All right.
You can't deny them, and you can't put regulations in that treats 5G differently than any other type of telecommunication. So as long as you're applying it uniformly to all, whether it be electric company, phone company, cable television company, and so forth, you should be okay. The FCC regulations recognize that municipalities have the right to regulate rights of way. And for the purposes of aesthetics and safety, pedestrian safety, vehicle traffic safety and so forth. So we have the right to regulate it.
There you go.
Good.
Good to go.
Right, so anybody have any comments, just send them back to me and we'll blend them into the ordinance and then we'll have a final one done.
Motion to adjourn caucus.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
All right, now we're going to go into the township.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to the public laws of 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon and was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. Everyone please rise and salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First reading of ordinance 2020-10, authorizing a bond ordinance for the 2020 capital projects in accordance with the 2020 budget.
Ordinance of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment appropriating $3,583,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,648,600 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost therefore authorized in and by the Township of Lacey in the County of Ocean. This is first reading. This will only get adopted on second reading if you adopt the budget on the 28th of May. This will have to go after the budget adoption, but this is the proposed capital projects and equipment that you had authorized during the budget introduction. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Same.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
And Mayor Kennas.
Yes. First reading of ordinance 2020-11, authorizing the conveyance of a temporary easement to the County of Ocean, block 1676, lot 1.
In order to the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the conveyance of a temporary construction easement on a portion of Block 1676, Lot 1 to the County of Ocean for the reconstruction of a portion of Manchester Avenue in accordance with NJSA 48:12-13B. This is, again, we have two ordinances here tonight with regards to the project that I handed out, the picture of the realignment of Lacey Road all the way down to Manchester Avenue all the way down to Western Boulevard. So they need to acquire some additional right-of-ways and easements. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
And Mayor Kennas.
Yes. First reading of ordinance 2020-12, authorizing the conveyance of a portion of an unimproved right-of-way to the County of Ocean.
In order to the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the conveyance of a portion of an unimproved right-of-way of the Township of Lacey to the County of Ocean for the reconstruction of a portion of Manchester Avenue in accordance with NJSA 48:12-13B. This is for the old Veterans Way that came out on Manchester Avenue. It's right in that portion of the roadway that they need to acquire lane widening purposes there.
Move it.
Second,
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2021-26, authorizing a leave of absence for an employee under FMLA.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing a leave of absence for Jesse Dazil for medical purposes. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2021-27, authorizing a leave of absence for an employee under NJFLA.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing a leave of absence for Michael Barway in accordance with the New Jersey Family Leave Act.
Move it.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2021-28, supporting the enactment of A 3971 and S 2475.
This is being asked to be adopted throughout the state and via the joint insurance funds. It's a resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, supporting the enactment of New Jersey Senate Bill 2475 and Assembly Bill number 3971 to authorize the issuance of coronavirus relief bonds by municipalities and counties.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2020-129, authorizing the release of a performance bond for the Dollar General.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing release of a performance bond posted for Dollar General by Forked River DG LLC.
Move it.
Second. Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff? Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2021-30, authorizing a refund of dock slip fees.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing release of monies charged for a municipal dock slip. This person unfortunately had to sell their boats, and we are refunding them the money that they paid. So, motion. Second? Who's second? Who can do both?
Second.
Oh, sorry.
I thought he-
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2020-131, authorizing the release of deposit monies.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the refund of deposits held for the use of municipal facilities.
Move it.
Second?
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2020-132, authorizing the payment of township bills.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the payment of township bills in the amount of $11,434,864.44.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes, and I'm staying on D0400.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Monthly reports.
These are very sad monthly reports. The municipal clerk's office for the month of April only collected $464.30. Probably cost me more to do the paperwork. The road opening permits were collected in the amount of $9,465 for the month of March. Recycling commodity in the amount of $631 for the month of March. Truck parking in the amount of $2,025 for the month of March. And for the month of March, municipal docks came in at $37,400. Motion to accept the reports is read.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve township meeting minutes of April 23rd, 2020.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve caucus meeting minutes of April 23rd, 2020.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Add-ons?
Yes, I have plenty. You just give me 2 minutes to catch up to you guys. You see, we have no bingos or raffles anymore either. First is Resolution 134. It's a resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing a leave of absence for John Kelly, or J.R. Kelly, as we may know him by. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes.
Second is another resolution that, through our insurance companies, we're being asked to support, and the League of Municipalities, a resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, supporting the enactment of the Security After Sandy Act. This is due to, Security After Sandy Act will forgive community disaster loans still owned by many towns from Superstorm Sandy and will provide relief for families faced with paying back government aid they received during the disaster. Motion?
Move it.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Oh, sorry. Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes.
That's all I have to add on tonight.
Comments from the committee, Deputy Mayor Kuratello.
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to speak in support of our businesses around the state tonight, this evening. I think when you make policy, you have to look at every corner of it. And although I am staunchly in the corner of the public's health, I don't think that these things are mutually exclusive. I think we put somebody on the moon 52 years ago. We can open our businesses and open a delicatessen in Lacey Township, and we can do it safely. I think our businesses have suffered immeasurable damage, not only in this municipality, but elsewhere. I think it's time to open up, and I think when you sequester people at home, you can't just look at the virus. You have to look at the whole picture. What doesn't get that much press and that much ink in the newspaper is issues like how many people are turning now to drugs, how many people we have calls that are up to the Division of Children and Families. We have an increase in domestic violence calls. And so there's other things at play here. We have 6-7 million people over the last 3 or 4 Fridays going on unemployment. So the domino effect, I'm not sure anymore if it's commensurate with what we're trying to accomplish. I think we can accomplish both things. I was very encouraged to hear the governor will permit beaches to open this afternoon. The tourism is vital for our whole region and obviously here at home in Lacey Township. And I just think before it becomes a hot button emotional issue for people to think through it and not say that we can't do it, but to ask how we can do it. I know we can open up safely. I know people want to spend, and I know people want to get back to work. So let's be brave, let's be strong, let's be Americans. Let's open up New Jersey. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Pete. Committeeman Giuliano.
Thank you, Mayor. Beginning of, I guess it was April, I was contacted by a gentleman, Ron Pfeiffer, that owns Retro Fitness. He ran a fundraiser, which he did from May 2nd to May 8th to collect food for the food bank and a few other things. He reached out to me to ask me who else in town could be helped by this. So I told him that, of course, the Lacey Food Bank, the Popcorn Park Zoo, and VetWorks. So he had the fundraiser. He got, 700 pounds of food, which he donated to VetWorks and the food bank, 100 pounds of dog and cat food, which he donated to Popcorn Park Zoo. Then on top of it, his personal self, he donated $10,000 to each one. To the VetWorks got $10,000, Popcorn Park Zoo, and the Lacey Food Bank. So I'd like to just put it on record. I'm going to have him here when we open up to the public. But I just want to say thank you to Ron and his staff down there at Retro Fitness for coming forward to help everybody in town. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Nick. Committeeman McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to reach out and thank all the nurses and doctors that live in Lacey Township for being out in front of all of this coronavirus. What a wonderful job they've been doing. We're getting this under control. Our first responders and our police department. It hasn't been easy. It's not going to get any easier. It's going to get tougher going forward. And I just want to thank them for regards to, we talked about earlier today, the 5G, this is extremely, extremely important to Lacey Township. We got to get this resolution done. And also, I just want to thank all the residents of Lacey as I run around town, run through the parks and so forth. I see people on the trails walking and running and riding their bikes. I see very few people in the field who are obeying the signs of staying off the field. And I want to thank the Lacey residents for cooperating during this time. It's not easy. We are trying to get this town open as quickly, efficiently, and safely as possible. And as soon as we can do things, we will do them. I just want to say thank you to our residents. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Tim. Committeeman Dykoff?
Believe it or not, it's been 2 months. It's amazing how it's been 2 months because it doesn't seem like 2 months. But I just ask people to be a little patient. You know, people are getting a little antsy. As restaurants open up a little bit, they go to restaurants and, you know, they're waiting online and you see aggressive driving and things like that. So life is precious. So remember that. Again, of course, all the first responders and the nurses and the EMTs and the doctors who are up against it every day. And yeah, you know, I want to thank everyone for being careful, because if they weren't careful and didn't take the steps they took, the death toll would have been much higher. Hopefully, we're on the downturn. It's, as they say, the curve is flattening, and we'll be through this soon. Fortunately, the beaches are opening Memorial Day weekend, so hopefully that eases some stress. So, but just a little bit of patience, everybody. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mark. This has been a very trying time for the whole country. We've been trying our best to balance the health concerns of everyone along with the financial impact on all of us. Myself personally, I will continue to advocate for the unfair impact on the many small businesses that call Lacey home and remain the financial backbone of this country. And that is all I have. But Mr. McDonald, you want to add?
Yeah, just one last thing, if I can, Mayor. We've had a rash of car break-ins through Lacey Township. And I would just advise all the residents of Lacey, just to double check before you go to bed, make sure your car is locked so that we can prevent some of this. That's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, and one more announcement from Veronica. We'll just remind everybody that we are not having Memorial Day services this year for parades. Just a reminder. So that closes our comments. I'll open it up to the public. Does the public have any questions or
Tom
comments?
will take over. Vital.
Okay, at this time, first off, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. At this time, we'll be accepting public comment. Anybody who would like to comment should virtually raise your hand by hovering your mouse over the Zoom view screen and finding the raise your hand button on the bottom of your Zoom app. However, if you're calling in via telephone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. You will be called to speak in turn. Regina DeSenza, please state your name and address and begin your public comment.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. How come we can't see you guys? It's just audio for us spectators?
Yes, it's just audio this evening. I don't have the ability of having cameras and individual devices for them, and there would have been too much feedback in the room because we're all in the same,
Okay. I wasn't sure. You're there. You're not virtual at home. Okay.
yes, we're all in the same room. There's too much feedback.
All right. My question is, Veronica, did you get a special email from me on May 8th?
And we're all taking care of it this evening.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that was it. I just wanted to make sure you got it.
Okay. I will wait a few more moments for anyone to raise their hand. Reminder, you need to move your mouse to the bottom of the app and choose the raise your hand button or press *9 if you called in on a phone. Seeing none?
Motion to close the floor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tom, thank you very much for hosting.
I need to do the resolution to go into executive.
Yep.
So So the final thing we need to do is resolution 2021-33, resolution Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing the convening of executive session to discuss matters of personnel, anticipate pending litigation, and matters of real estate. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
And Mayor Kennas.
Yes, motion adjourned.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.